It's going.
Oh, yeah, nah, pretty good.
Thinking we should chuck a podcast. What do you reckon?
Oh, yeah, nah, I can. Come round, let's do a thing. Welcome, everyone, to episode 15. What I was trying to say is, if you're watching the video, like we were talking as the intro was going on.
Yes.
Now, I think when I watch news programs, when they cut to an ad or like at the end of the show, like anchors are talking to each other.
Oh, yes.
And I just like,
yeah, doing their sheets of paper.
yeah. I was actually thinking of like Anchorman, like when, but yeah, that's just the first thing that happens to me. Like when you just told me about that then, that when the intro's playing, we can mute ourselves and still talk so it doesn't interrupt.
Yeah, because look at this.
And then
Fucking
I told
nothing.
Ian, yeah. Oh, that's great.
On the video, that's going to be good, but when people listen to that, there's just a big gap where us doing stuff should be.
They're probably like, oh, it's stopped. I might skip to the next thing. So
Yeah.
if you're still with us.
Now, if you're boring, like start talking, say anything. I can mute you.
Oh, there you go. Well, episode 15. This is going to be our second last episode of the year. I didn't want to end on this episode.
No.
This isn't why.
This is an important one. It's a big one.
Yeah.
But we want to end on a positive note.
Yes.
So, sorry, before you continue, this is probably the first time, like maybe we should have done this when we did the mental health episode, but I feel like this one, it's very prudent for us to give a trigger warning first.
Yeah, true.
Because this can be like probably very upsetting for some people to hear, to listen to.
Yeah.
And it relates to pregnancy issues, miscarriages, etc.
Yeah.
So that's just out there. If anybody needs to turn this off, we understand. But hopefully you'll come on this journey with us.
Yeah. And before we start, I am happy to share personally what I am going through, and hopefully my experience will help others be aware.
Yeah.
That it's not just me and it's not just you if you're affected by the same thing.
Yeah, definitely.
So, everyone, we had some big news in the last 2 weeks. Well, actually, probably about 3 weeks ago, I think it was, that Taneil had fallen pregnant. Well, we found out that she was pregnant.
Yes. Yeah.
So it has been a huge thing. It's been 17 months in the waiting.
Yeah.
And we were just so excited that we had to tell our close group of friends. Mm-hmm. And the reason why we did this is because after so long of trying, there was a few things. One, we were doing the challenge.
Yeah.
Now, doing the challenge at the gym, you're meant to tell the staff in case of anything happening that you are pregnant.
Yeah, any
For safety
pregnancy,
reasons.
if you're working out, you should notify your gym, which is a good piece of information for people to know.
So with our gym that we go to at HIT, that's owned by Taneil's cousin. Mm-hmm. And so it just made sense to tell him straight away.
Yes.
So it was very early. It was probably, I think we were about just over a month pregnant. And we told him straight away. So then in doing that, it's like, okay, we've told our family, let's tell our friends as well.
Yeah.
Like, so everyone's in the same loop. We've got some exciting news to go.
Yeah.
After about 2 weeks of Taneil being pregnant, it was kind of a bit harder to kind of hide because Taneil's results in the weekly weigh-ins and measurements, it's just like they're not making sense.
Yeah, starting to fluctuate.
That's why it's hard to like keep a secret when you're doing that, especially a challenge. So we thought, people at the gym know. We've got to tell our family, tell our close friends. Everyone's on the same page. Another big thing, and we are glad we did this now, is because Taneil made up a good point. If anything bad were to happen, we want people to know that what we're going through.
You've got a support network straight away.
And unfortunately, as hard as it was, Taneil had a miscarriage. Yeah, which is it was devastating.
It's heartbreaking.
It is, and it still is. It's something that we're going through at the moment, and we're learning. That's the thing.
Yeah, I think the significance of it as well is because Taneil's wanted to be a mum for forever. Yeah. Like she's always wanted to be a young mum.
Yeah.
And it's so difficult because you guys have been trying for so long. Like you said, 17 months. Yeah. and gone through all the tests, seen all the specialists, and they've gone, there's no reason why you can't. You're both healthy. Seems to just be a timing thing.
Yes.
And then to have that elation of finally it coming through, and then to have this issue, there's a big long backstory behind it as well, which makes it all the more difficult.
Yeah. So when this happened was everything was going sweet at first. I'll tell a bit of the story of how it happened. I was thankfully at home the night it happened.
Yeah.
And Taneil felt something was off. She just felt a strange pain in the ovaries, and she just knew something was off. And she was going to the toilet, and then she came out, and then she just had this look on her face. I kind of knew what had happened. And then she just does this thing where Taneil's so strong mentally all the time.
Yeah.
And it takes a lot for Taneil to break down. Yeah. Like something bad has happened. And then she just looks at me with this face and she just says first of all, she just goes, I want to be strong. Mm-hmm. And then as soon as she said that, just broke into tears.
Yeah.
I knew exactly what had happened straight away. And, but you feel as a guy then, now the thing is I want to talk about a guy's perspective in this situation.
Yeah.
I felt pretty useless in a way.
Yeah.
Because I didn't know how I could fix this situation. I was like, when it came, how it could be relatable to, say, COVID this year, people were something was out of their control.
Yes.
So not that miscarriages have anything to do with COVID. It's just like you had something, whether it be a business or something, taken from you and there was nothing you could do about it.
Yeah.
This is how, now I've had a pretty good year. I'll be honest. I've had a great year.
Yeah.
Now, nothing has really affected me as far as the way my business runs or life runs. However, this was me finally experiencing something that was well out of my control.
Yes. Yeah.
And I felt useless. I felt helpless. I felt useless. And all I could do was just whatever Taneil wanted me to do. Yeah. First of all, clearly being comforting and all that. But I was just so glad that I was home when it happened.
Absolutely.
Feeling that was instantly, I feel so sorry for women who will do this by themselves.
Yeah, go through that on their own.
And
absolutely.
That's just why I was just like, it's been a long turning point in these last 17 months of doing tests and the pap smears and seeing specialists, even for me going to get tested to make sure everything's all good on my end.
Yeah.
But more so for women, they go through so much more. And
so invasive.
Yes.
Yeah.
And I'm like, leading up to the pregnancy, I was just like, I was getting angry because I'm just like, this sucks how much shit you have to go through just to fall pregnant.
Yeah, exactly.
Like I know people out there are so lucky and it happens straight away for them, we just feel like I personally feel I'm just like, I'm getting more and more seeing Taneil's face every month, like when she has a period, like it's sort of like a disappointment.
Yeah.
And then, you see all your friends, they're all getting pregnant, but that has never affected me. What has affected me is seeing Taneil be affected.
Yeah.
Now, that's just me being a good husband, I think.
Definitely.
So, and all I care about is how Taneil feels. And then every time that I just see someone fall pregnant, I instantly go to Taneil and just see how she is.
Yeah.
And after this whole thing of finally falling pregnant and then for this to happen, it's just like, oh, okay, well, 2020 finally serving us the shit stick.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, it's been a hard week, hard 2 weeks, but I'm so proud of Taneil that today, and this is why we're talking about this today, is that she said a few days ago that she wanted to come out and be public about it.
Yeah.
Because she wanted people to know what she's going through, because we both work very hard. And you don't know. And one of the things that we learnt straight away was it was 1 in 4 women will have a miscarriage.
Yeah, and I even feel that the actual statistic is much higher than that. I feel like that's the recorded number is 1 in 4. Yeah. And I'm sure, as we'll continue to talk about, is that for whatever reason, there seems to be a lot of stigma and shame surrounding things like miscarriages. Yeah. My belief is that there is a great many that don't get reported. Yeah. And so I think the true figure is actually much higher.
Yeah.
And I don't mean to say that in some kind of like negative doomsday thing. I mean to say that in terms of these women that go through it and the men that stand with them that are part of this, none of you are alone. No. And that's why I think it's so important when people do speak out about it, because it should be normalized. Like, no one should feel shame over it. Like, you know, in your situation, it's not like you guys are like booting heroin or, you know, doing anything that would harm the potential of a pregnancy. Yeah. And unfortunately, to no fault of your own, you weren't able to carry out that pregnancy. And there are millions upon millions upon millions of couples and women that experience this every day. And so I think it's so brilliant. It's so strong of Taneil, and the way she wrote that post was brilliant. I'm super proud of her for doing that. I think it's going to be a big healing moment for her, for you, and then I think there's going to be so many other people that benefit from it as well.
Well, when she was writing the post, she wrote it in notes first, got me to read through it, and I held my emotions in. That's the one thing that I've been doing with this whole miscarriage, is that I've held my emotions in very strong, because Taneil's emotions to me are more important. Yeah. I was clearly upset when it happened. Yeah. And I still am upset. But it's just I need to be strong for her, because to me, that's just how I want to be a husband. Yeah, definitely. What had happened when I read the post, I said, you know, this is going to blow up. Like, you know, something's going to happen from this. And this was only today that we've posted it, but already there has been hundreds of comments and messages that have come through, like privately and publicly, but of just how much people were in the same boat. Yeah. And I was just like, when it happened, when it first happened and we looked into statistics and being 1 in 4, I was like, I kind of wish I knew how common it was before this happened. Yeah, right. Because I would have mentally prepared for this before it happened. One thing that I guess probably acknowledged before Taneil falling pregnant was postnatal depression. Yes. Now, I've kind of focused on that more so than miscarriages, because I just you can't help it. If it happens, it happens. You got to deal with that in its own state. But I like the idea that I was aware of it. Yeah. I just want to be aware. Yeah, definitely. So I can kind of, not that I hope of it, I don't manifest it in any way. All I manifest is just having a healthy baby. Yeah. I don't manifest if it's going to be a boy or a girl and all that. I know people are big on that, but it's like they hope for a boy, and if they don't get a boy, they're disappointed. It's like, I just want a healthy baby. Yeah, you just want to start your family. Yeah, that's all I want. And that's all Taneil wants. So this is part of just being aware of things. And this is, with this miscarriage being so maybe 1 in 4, just to be aware of it and how to overcome it. And I think the first thing you do is you let close people know. Yeah. That will help, because there is so many people that have messaged through today to say that they suffered in silence. Yes. And they're already saying, thank you for doing this, because I didn't tell anyone about it. Yeah. And they're saying that they wish they did. I was like, this is crazy. It's just, I feel like talking, and we go on about mental health and that speak to someone if you have to speak to someone. Now, we are advocates for that. Yep. We do believe that does help. And this is why we're being our own, we're sticking to our guns and doing this right now. Yeah. This is what we're going through. We didn't want to be public. We didn't blurt out that this is what's happened. Feel sorry for us. We're just saying, we're just doing it as a, I don't want to say role models, but just to say that we are normal people. We try to live our normal life. This is what we're going through. Yeah. And it's common. Yeah. I don't think anyone would accuse you of trying to, create headlines for yourself or steal attention, because it's you both have far better things to do that with. You know what I mean? This, I definitely interpret it as a bit of a public service announcement, being Taneil can now be I'm with all of you other women that have experienced this, and with all of you that will experience this, unfortunately, in the future, which is an unfortunate reality. And so I really hope that out of these things, women in particular can start to stand in solidarity and be there for each other, because I would hate to think that there are any women cutting each other down over something like this. I know. And I think it's really good what you guys have done, because
we've got friendship couples that are all very strong. And so we can all be there for each other, but then, you've got an opportunity to speak with me, to speak with Ryan, or, our other male friends. And I think that's so important for the healing process and just the bond of our tribe, because that's what we're doing. We're developing a tribe. It's like with Kat and Ryan having Ryder, like he's as much ours as he is theirs, because he's going to be protected and nurtured and taught by all the men in his life and all the women in his life. And it's going to be the same for when you and Taneil have your children, that those kids are going to be as much mine as yours, not genetically and all that level, but, I will love them and protect them and want to pass on information that I know to them. And, it's one of those things that by doing that, it brings our community closer, our tribe closer, but now it goes through the advent of social media. And this is one of the positives of it, is that other people can now experience it from all these other little satellites around the world. And like we always talk about, if you can change one person's perspective, then that's a life changed, and so hopefully through that there are some women out there now who feel bold enough to speak about it and can truly heal now from what they experienced, and have support around them too, and understanding and empathy.
Yeah. So I don't really know as much to what is going to happen next. That's just life. But I guess it's out in the open now that we are trying for a kid. Yeah. We have been trying for quite some while. The reason why I think we wanted to finally voice something was because I want to get rid of the stigma of people when they say, as soon as you get married or whatever, it's like, when are you having kids? Or hurry up and have kids already.
Yeah.
When are you going to have a baby? Yeah. It's just
drop it.
Yeah. Don't ask that.
Yeah. There's better ways to ask the question. Do you guys hope to have a family someday? Yeah. That's a more reasonable question as opposed to when are you going to have a baby? Because for you guys, trying for so long, it's something that you want and you're trying for. You're not advertising it to everyone. No. And then for somebody, 6 months down the track, just being because that adds to your stress levels. It's like the tests that you have to go through, particularly for the women, that adds to the stress level. It doesn't make it better. Getting good results might help, but going through the process of the test itself, that creates stress that lasts for a while, you know? So to an already stressful situation for some people where what you need to be doing is removing that and, creating an environment that's a baby's going to thrive in. It's that shit doesn't help and we need to stop that. Yeah. That's been something that's normalized for so long. And so if you're one of those people that ask that question of a couple, find a healthier way to ask it or just leave it alone.
Yeah. Just, if you have to ask, I don't know why you have to ask it, but just say, do you hope to have kids one day? Yeah. That's it. Yep. And then they'll say yes or no.
Yeah. Because aside from people who might struggle to conceive, there's the other side of that, of couples who just genuinely don't want to have kids. And that's fine. That's their life choice. Yeah. But then they get all this weird kind of other people's shit projecting on them. When are you going to have a baby? Yeah. And it's they have to go through this conversation over and over again of that's not for us, you know? And then people go, what do you mean? It's the best thing. Why don't you want to? Yeah. And well, actually, it's none of your business.
Our friend Brittany Saunders, she has publicly said it, that she doesn't want to have kids.
Yeah, right.
And Taneil admires the shit out of that. She's just the reason why she does is because she gets asked so many times. And that's why it sucks that she had to publicly say it. Yeah. But it's just I don't want to have kids. Yeah. I'm happy with my life as it is.
You shouldn't have to. It's it's your life. You make your own choices. People need to butt out sometimes.
But yeah, I think in our perspective is that this is what's happened. And it's, I don't know, if someone was to ask me this week, oh, is your missus pregnant yet? I'll probably grill them.
Yeah. Give them a swift uppercut.
Yeah, and I'll probably give them some real talk, there on the spot just to make them awkward.
Yeah, definitely.
But in saying that's just my mindset right now at this moment.
Yeah.
It might change over time, but hopefully it won't happen if people have acknowledged what our post is today, that when this podcast comes out, what our post was, then it changes perspective.
Yeah. I think probably like a important point to touch on is the feelings that come out of that. And I can't speak from experience. I can only speak from what you've told me and what other people I know who've had this same situation told me, is that after a miscarriage, the woman in the situation feels a lot of guilt. They feel like they're responsible for it.
Well, in saying that, one of the first things that Taneil said was sorry to me.
Yeah.
And I was like,
exactly.
Why?
And so it's this bizarre thing of the woman feels guilt and the man feels helpless.
Yes.
And so you're both in this very odd limbo where neither of you have done anything wrong, and yet one's feeling like the brunt of all the fault of it, and then the other one's standing there going, fuck, there is nothing I can do to make this situation better. And like really all you can do is what you did, is just be empathetic, be soft, be caring, be there for them.
Yes.
And just sort of be ready to pick up whatever pieces they need. It's just being present and being empathetic and understanding, because you can't go in on it thinking like, well, how am I going to fix this situation now? Like, you know, what's put piece A with piece B and it equals, we're all done here. It's not that situation at all. It takes time.
Yes.
So that's probably a big thing for people to have in the back of their heads, is that like men in particular, when we talk about with mental health issues and that sort of thing, it's always men feeling helpless a lot of the time. And you just got to realize that in this situation, you are helpless. It's not your fault. And you know, speak to your love network, your tribe out there, and start to work through those feelings.
My first initial reaction after because we clearly, Taneil and I sat there, acknowledged what had happened, and we dealt with that as we could in the moment. But my instinct was positive. Yeah. So first thing I did was just Google, like, not that you should Google, but I just wanted something to say that could be positive. So I looked for the positive readings, and that was that, look, because we're early in the trimester, like we're still in the first trimester, there's a good chance we can try again within 2 weeks to a month. Yeah. So I'm like feeding this positive info as best I could. Like, guess what?
Get straight back on the wagon.
The other thing was just like how good you fell pregnant.
Yes. Yeah.
After all this time.
Yeah. You know it's possible. Yes. You know it's possible now.
So that was the second thing. So it's one bridge that we've crossed into trying again. So there was these other things that we've done that is just try to be as positive as possible. But then when it came down to Taneil saying that she wanted to speak open about this, because she felt it was going to help, which she already has admitted, like talking about it has. Yeah. I'm just like, sweet, this is another positive thing.
Yeah, definitely.
So I've said that I've already had messages from people today, a lot of guys as well, that have said that the same positions that they've been in as well has helped me already. Yeah. The other thing is that Taneil and I have also acknowledged that there is also people out there that have had it a lot worse than us.
Yeah, that's important to remember too.
So, and the thing is that we're not comparing us to anyone else. It is just, this is just our story. This is just our journey at the moment. Yep. And if like, we just, I guess, want people to know that just like we're no different to other people. We still have, like, on social media, we go back to social media here and there, life looks awesome from the outside perspective to us. And like I said, we've had a pretty good year. I won't lie about it. It has been good, but there is still a negative that lingers in our lives. Yeah. And that we're just we're just battlers like everyone else.
Yeah, I think that's a really important change that's coming in social media, is that people are starting to be more realistic. Yeah. Like we're understanding now that putting up these, you know, happy Showtime reels all the time isn't authentic. It's not real, and people are looking for more authenticity in their lives. So doing little things like this, not that everyone has to go to that extreme. Yeah. You know, if that's something that you want to keep private and you're not ready to put out there, absolutely. Yeah. But, you know, like addressing those things of when you are having a hard time and making it known, that doesn't always have to be a negative, you know, especially if what you're looking for is support in that situation, or just to help other people and go, look, not everything's all, you know, rainbows and glitter and unicorns and shit, you know? Yeah. So yeah, I think that was really brave of Taneil. I think it's really awesome. I hope more women feel empowered to do the same thing, tell their story, heal from it. I think it just creates so much more love in the community, which is all anyone needs and wants in this life. And, you know, it's crazy the timing, because there's obviously been some high profile ones that have come out this week as well. Meghan Markle.
Huge.
Yeah. Was she the Duchess of Sussex or something like that? I don't know.
The one that left the royal family. I don't know.
Hey?
No, her and what's his name?
Oh, Harry.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't keep up to date with much of the royal stuff.
Exactly the same thing that I said to Tim. I'm like, when she said who it was, I'm like, I don't care about the royals.
But yeah, and then I think Chrissy Teigen was one as well. You know, so that's the thing, is that like these are these high profile, successful people that you think their lives are just like traveling and millions of dollars and all this wonderful stuff, and it still affects them. And they've got better access to, you know, healthcare than a majority of the world does. So, I hope that people don't have a sense of loneliness about this.
Yes.
I think that's what I really want to get across, is that, you aren't alone. There's people out there who've experienced this that are there for you. And some of them can be complete strangers that are willing to offer the most comfort that you can find.
Yes.
But yeah, so, I mean, yeah, just massive props to Neil for doing that. And also all the people that have then contacted her and contacted you.
Yeah. Yeah. Thank you, everyone. Like that means a lot. Like it has really helped this process. And we will have some good news eventually.
Yeah.
And we'll be stoked to share it when it happens.
Yeah. I mean, we've not had the same situation, but recently we've gone through something similar of looking into Rani had certain complications, so we started going down the track of looking at if PCOS or endometriosis was a factor. And you come to realize out of that how insanely common that is as well.
Oh, I know.
And, you know, particularly with endometriosis, because there's so little known about it.
Yeah.
You know, there's theories as to how it occurs, but no one can actually say for sure this is why.
Yes.
And so, again, this is one of those things that so many women are dealing with and couples are dealing with, because it becomes a part of the man's life as well. I'm not trying to, you know, put it on equal footing, but if there's a good, healthy relationship there, then a man feels this.
Oh, 100%.
And so in our situation, again, it's that thing of before the testing had even happened and it was said to us like this might be a possibility, Rani's brain went straight to, well, he should just leave me and find somebody else who can give him children. And like, to me, that's insane. You know, and straight away she takes on the fault of that, which is not right at all. Like, it's nothing that she's done. It's nothing that any woman's done to be in this position. And then again, on the flip side, there's me feeling helpless, because it's like, I can't do anything about that. I'm not a surgeon. I'm not God. Like, so all you can do is try and comfort and reassure and be there. And so endometriosis and PCOS is another one that women shouldn't feel shame about.
No.
And we should start to normalize that conversation and the empathy and the support for it and all those kinds of things, because, you know, it's all part of the same boat of people just wanting to add love to the world and start a family, and there's obstacles in the way, and it all just affects our journey in life.
I think if you are a person that gives a shit about these sort of situations, that shows that you're, to me, ready to be a parent because you care.
Yeah.
Like you care about these issues because you want to give more love to the world.
Yeah,
that's
absolutely.
why that's a problem.
Yes, definitely.
So
yeah. And you know, I've learned a lot of things as to what can help that, and that's not what this podcast is about. Like, I don't want to be sitting here and tell a woman what to do with her body or anything like that. It's just purely the talk of how common it is.
Yeah.
And so, you know, seek out the love and support that is out there for you. Don't suffer in silence in the darkness.
For any situation,
you
don't need to suffer. Everyone has their own battles, but talk to someone close about it. It can be a mate. And we talk about this, like we said earlier, like with the depression or like, are you okay day?
Yep.
That I don't know, how many years ago did that start?
I don't know. It feels like quite recent.
Yeah, because within the last 5 years, I don't think it was taken as seriously at first, but now it's just like, it's a thing.
Yeah.
It's a daily thing now.
Yes.
So in the end, that has changed the world, hasn't it?
Yeah. Well, actually, that's something that happened to me in the last week is that a coworker actually reached out to me. And I don't know if this is because of the type of stuff that I post on Facebook, for whatever reason, he reached out to me. And I feel like incredibly thankful and so humbled that he did. Because this is a person that I would never have expected was suffering. Like, he puts a smile on everybody else's face. Like, he's got this big goofy laugh and he gets around like cracking jokes and stuff like that. I would have never expected him to be someone that was suffering.
Yes.
And I feel so humbled that he felt comfortable enough to have this conversation with me because his demeanor and his upbringing doesn't really strike me as somebody who's ever been encouraged to talk about his feelings, like, you know, growing up. So it would have been a big, difficult moment for him. And, you know, now the healing can begin because he's not alone in it. And I hope that I handled the situation well enough to, you know, like make him feel normal about it.
Yeah.
And yeah, it was just a really big moment, and I was super proud of him. He knows who he is. And like, I hope other people are doing that for each other and being there for each other. And you don't have to have this big flip out and worry about like making that person better on the spot. Just go, man, like, oh, I'm so sorry that you're experiencing this. Is there anything that I can do for you like right now or in the future that's going to help this situation? And so yeah, it all ties into this whole mental illness thing. You know, that affects us all, our stress levels, our lifestyles, and it's just meeting things with love, having a little bit more empathy, and just opening yourself up.
Yeah.
You know?
In saying that, when we go back to our last episode when we're talking about the challenge and then the last 2 weeks I kind of dropped off.
Yeah.
For everyone that was listening to that episode first, this is what happened when I dropped off. Like, that's what happened.
And rightly so.
Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, I don't know if we wrap it up there.
Yeah, I'm happy to wrap it up. And I'm on an end note, Taneil, I love you, and you've done well. You've literally changed, I guess, a part of the world today.
Yeah. You guys have got a new journey to embark on. There's going to be countless blessings in the future for you, and so much positivity, and I know that. And like, I guess from both of us, just sending our love out to everyone out there who's listening to this, experience this, will experience this in the future. You have our love, you have our support. Everyone be kind to each other, be there for each other.
Yep. And don't be a person that says, hurry up and have kids.
Yeah.
Just don't be that. That ended, by the way. That's not a thing anymore. Yep. If you do it and you get punched in the face, guess what? You know why.
That's your own fault.
All right. Sweet as.
All right. Have a great week.
Chat soon.
Love you all.